Hardcore Wrestling Radio. In HWR, we may not drop a lot of pipe bombs, but we sure as hell drop a lot of F-bombs. So don't say you weren't warned.
Hey everybody, this is the incomparable Lance Moss, and I want to introduce to you Vicky Guerrero's new boyfriend, Bay Area MVP.
fuck you, Lance. Fuck.
Hey, I'm just getting you back for early today, alright?
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show. Lance had to get me, so oh well.
Yep. And welcome to Hardcore Wrestling Radio, and I am Rick Starr, and of course, there's always my sidekick, that son of a bitch, Andy. Andy, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. I'm just trying to find some news as we speak, but I can't find it. But yeah, I'm fine.
All right. And over at WGS TV, he's Double B Bujo. Billy, how are we doing tonight?
Other than pulling out all my hair after doing all the edits for Gulf Coast Wrestling, I'm fine.
And believe it or not, folks, yes, he's off the bus. James from the Big East, how are we doing tonight?
Shut up, MVP. I know you're clapping over there.
Not only is he off the bus, he's off the wall.
That indeed.
Oh, Lord.
But you know what? We've had a crazy week with, TNA going nuts and just a pretty shitty Raw in general. But, we already talked about Raw over on Billy's WGS TV, so we're going to skip over on that. But, Billy, you know what? You have a pretty big announcement, which doesn't have to do with wrestling, but you have a video game announcement, so I'm going to kick it over to you. Billy?
Yes, well, a lot of folks have been up in arms about, ever since the big reveal of Microsoft with their Xbox One, about a lot of their drawbacks. Now, Microsoft has confirmed news, but they're still avoiding comments on about what's going on here now. Now, according to Microsoft's Xbox corporate vice president, Mark Whitten, this is what he says, word for word, quote, "Our vision is that every person can be a creator, that every Xbox One can be used for development, that every game and experience can take advantage of all the features of Xbox One and Xbox Live. This means self-publishing. This means Connect, the cloud, achievements. This means great discoverability on Xbox Live. We'll have more details on the program and the timeline at Gamescom in August." Now, Microsoft has already reversed one unpopular Xbox One policy when it backed off the system's online requirements. Now, it might be backing down off another, according to Game Informer, as they report the company will now allow independent developers to self-publish their games on Xbox Live. The outlet sources say that the developers will be able to make the call on their game's release date and pricing. Additionally, Microsoft is also looking to make its certification process more like iTunes, with a targeted 2-week window from submission to approval for each game. That will mean the company's examination of the game code will be more thorough, covering primarily terms of service breaches and major bugs. Finally, Game Informer also reports that the standard Xbox One retail unit will be convertible to a debug console that can play pre-release code. Instead of having two different hardware setups, Microsoft will just authorize specific consoles to play unfinished code. The same process is expected to work for large-scale beta testing of games as well. And, Will, I got to ask you one. I'm going to go right to you because I know you're a gamer, and Rick, you're a gamer too. I got to ask you guys, what are your thoughts and reactions to this news about independent developers being able to self-publish their games on Xbox Live?
I've got a good question or a good problem.
What
a great way to get your fucking Xbox virused.
Pretty much.
Exactly, Andy. And which I was going to go on the line as Andy kept it on the good waves. I was thinking, see, this is a double-edged sword for this one. Because, as much as a lot of us game fans would love to create new things and develop a whole lot of things around us, in which they're going to develop stuff ahead, but on the bad side of the sword, there's going to be complications, viruses like Andy just mentioned, and then there's going to be the old infamous copyright infringement. Because if one person has a creative plan and somebody else thought of the same thing, oh no, I had this one first. Oh no, I had this one first. See, and that's where the complications thing starts to build up one at a time. So as we say here in California, you got to make your money somehow, but if you got to step on a lot of people's toes, okay. But in Microsoft case, this ain't going to bolt so well. Both parties in this or whatever ground yourself, this is stupid.
Yeah, I have to agree. It has its double-edged sword. It can be good. It can be bad. It's just going to take its time to find out where it's going to lead. That's going to be that.
Well, albeit the independent scene for video games has actually changed over the last year. I mean, look at the independent developers from that game company who produced the game Journey. That game, and not only that, what about Telltale Games' version of The Walking Dead, which, if I remember correctly, at Spike's Video Game Awards last year, was like the first ever independent game to win Game of the Year. The independent scene has vastly changed over the last year. You know, it's not what it used to be, and with the independent scene starting to make really good, strong games, it's a possibility that, you know, self-publishing, yeah, will have a drawback of the possibility of viruses, but I would think that with the way the independents are changing in the video game industry, that we could see a good influx of really good games come out there. And there are a lot of people who are fans of independent games, yours truly, who actually look forward to independent games and what they have to release, you know?
Yeah. Well, like I said, time will certainly most tell as to what these games could be. They could come out to be excellent. They could come out to be lousy. You know, it will will be, Billy. So absolutely. But moving on. Let's get back to wrestling and at hand. Will, you wanted to talk about Jesse Sorensen and his release, and because I know that you've been itching about that subject. Why don't you talk us a little bit about that?
Oh no, not a problem. Yes, I mean Jesse Sorensen, man, this young talent had a good career on his shoulders, just to have his career ended by a freak injury, quote unquote freak, and
Ion.
and then he had to make what he go through a C1, C5, and C6 surgeries. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that his career is fucked. Yeah, it is, but not entirely. From what one report I read, that he's trying to get into bodybuilding. So my fellow brothers, even though Dixie Carter did say he'll always have a place for him in TNA, bullshit. So you guys with me on this one? Was Jesse Sorensen released just because of the way that he was released, or the fact is these false promises that Dixie told him was just fairy tales like Disney Channel would?
I got to lean more towards the fairy tale side, and to me, that's a very sad state of affairs when you have someone, who's in the higher ups, especially like Dixie Carter, who she and her family are supposed to be running that company, and they go around and they make you a promise saying that you have a guaranteed position in our company when you come back from your injury, only to find out that while you're in your recovery, they release you. To me, that damages your credibility so much. I mean, Dixie Carter wasn't very credible to begin with when it comes to wrestling in a wrestling company, or even running a wrestling related company. And now she further damaged, in my opinion, her credibility by allowing Jesse Sorensen to be released from TNA after she already made a promise to not only him but his family that he would have a guaranteed position in TNA. To me, that is the most screwed up part of it. That this is why TNA. I'll always be a fan of TNA, no matter what. But the fact of the matter is, the way it's being run, it's almost looking like Dixie Carter is just trying to run it into the ground and just bury the motherfucker.
Well,
Yep. Rick, go ahead. What are your thoughts about the release?
Well, I think right now, I mean, it wasn't like they only released him, because it's obviously right now that TNA is having some financial issues, and they're just trying to release obviously who's not on television, and unfortunately, Jesse Sorensen was one of those people. It sucks. It's a harsh part of the business, but it is. And I think if Vince was in the same shoes, he would have done the same thing. And I think he would have done the same thing. Andy, would you agree with me, or would you disagree with me?
No, I agree. Fully agree.
Well, do you think? What would you? I mean, who do you think that she's doing the right thing by letting go certain people? Or do you think that she should have just tried to keep these people on, or what do you think she's doing by releasing all these people?
I don't think she's got the choice, to be honest. Look at that comment I've just put in the chat room from Mike Tenay, the announcer. Mike Tenay's just tweeted, "Am I going to get a paycheck this summer, Dixie?" ?
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
That company's proper down the shitter. Even your ring announcer's douching you now on his tweet feed.
Well,
So what's going on? So what the question is what is going on with TNA? I think that is the big question. I don't think it's. I think we're all.
I've been reading about it all day, and I just find this bullshit, to be honest. There's a lot of non-truths flying around. The reason why TNA are being shafted supposedly is third-party contracts. Now, I didn't understand what they meant by third-party contracts, but third-party contracts are they're basically blaming Spike TV not living up to their part of the deal. Well, I don't know what part of the deal they're not living up to because they put them on television every week. Dixie's blaming Spike TV.
So she's blaming them? She's
blaming Spike TV for not providing them with what they said they were going to provide them with. And I'm sorry, TV companies provide you with airtime, and you've got airtime.
All right, James, go ahead. Let's kick up to you. What are your thoughts?
If Andy's putting it like this, it's kind of going to sound like how it was with ECW. You know, when ECW was with, at that time, TNN, right before TNN decided to make a deal with WWE. For me, with this whole situation, he was with TNA. He even still had a job doing their I think some managing thing in the back, and this is what Dixie Carter said. If the rumors are true, it's like everybody is not safe. Everybody is at risk of losing a job.
Well, from what I heard, not everybody's at risk. I mean, there seems to be certain people. I mean, do you think that somebody like Hulk Hogan's at risk?
Hulk Hogan wasn't paid, apparently.
I think this no. I think it's just going to the roster, not Hogan.
Hulk Hogan's technically on the roster.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, Bruce Pritchard.
No. But here's the thing, though.
According to internet, Hulk Hogan didn't get paid last month.
He was late getting paid, but he got paid.
Yeah, but he didn't get paid on time, so that's not good.
That's not what I meant. I meant besides the big names as Hogan, Bischoff. No, Pritchard. They had problems with Pritchard.
He got fired.
He got fired because he had he didn't do the contract stuff correctly. That's why Docs and RVD is no longer.
That's wrong. If you check the latest stuff, and Mike Tenay's put it on his Twitter feed, he was caught feeding information to the WWE.
Is that fact, or is that?
That's fact. That's on Twitter. Now, if you put a tweet on and it's not real, you would get your arse caned.
Wait, who is it from?
Mike Tenay.
I have Mike Tenay. That is not his real Twitter account. Just saying, that might have been somebody else's Twitter, because his is real Mike Tenay. He never put anything like that. Nobody in TNA would put out anything on Twitter unless they got released by TNA. So whatever rumors what happens. I think it's the wrong decision to promise somebody who is hurt, who got that serious injury, a career for life in the company. If you know your company is not doing well, do not make those false promises.
The only thing is, though, we've only got his word for it. I mean, if what he's saying is true, and I'm not denying it, the man's either a complete retard because if what he's saying is true, that will be down on a contract. She's got no choice but to pay that guy. If it's not down on a contract, the man's a retard and a liar. Are you really going to take the word of your boss that I'm going to pay you for the rest of your life?
Hell no.
So I think that the internet are blowing something out of nothing. I just think the internet are blowing smoke up people's arses.
Oh,
Yeah, I feel sorry for the guy. He got basically crippled wrestling. But if he's taken the word of a manager, and everyone in the world knows what the wrestling industry's like, they wouldn't pee on you if you're on fire. They'd step over you to have your spot. If he's believed, whether it's Dixie Carter or somebody else, that, oh yeah, you recover, we'll give you a full paycheck when you come back. If he believes that man's a complete bellend. He shouldn't even be in wrestling.
Well, I agree with you to a point. Yeah, absolutely. Because where he was before he got injured, he was moving up the roster pretty quickly. So, you get hurt, unfortunately, especially hurt like that.
You get released. It's that simple.
It's
And if he's trying to get it all over the internet that I've made this deal and Dixie Carter's gone deadly against her deal, well, if she's made a deal, sue her arse, because if she's made a deal, you've got it in writing. If she's got it, if he thinks he's got a deal by word of mouth, good luck to you in court, because you're going to lose.
Yeah, and
And all he's doing, if he hasn't got it in writing, the worst thing he could have done is badmouth the company that you've just left all over the internet, because they'll never employ that bloke as long as he's got an hole in his arse again. So he's shot himself in the foot, and he's certainly not good enough ever signed for the WWE.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing with him is like when he got released, everybody in TNA is like, oh, we wish you the best and all that stuff, and like the door's still open. But once he came out saying all that stuff, that burned all the bridges. That closed all the doors to a possible return.
He's got no hope whatsoever.
Well, while we're on this quick subject, we're pretty much going to be talking mostly about TNA tonight. So there's going to be a lot of different aspects, a lot of different subjects. But the most of the subject tonight was going to be TNA. We're going to, but let's just jump on. Dixie Carter.
But before before all the people that are listening, are wondering why we're not picking on TNA, just that Raw this week was shit. So
pretty
Vince,
much.
don't get too excited, Vince. Your product fucking sucked, and there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
At least we're talking about TNA.
Sucked more than an industrial strength vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, at least we're talking about your competitors. They might be going down the toilet, but they're worth talking about.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Well, Dixie Carter actually, because of what's going on, she actually decided to go in the middle of the week, and she said put her questionnaire, and she had a quote, #AskDixie. And it had gave the people an opportunity to talk about Dixie one-on-one. If you could ask her a question, guys, what would you be that one question you could ask her? And Andy, I know you love Dixie, so I'm going to give you that one question.
Oh, hell.
What if I could ask Dixie Carter? I'd
Any
just
question.
ask it. Any question.
Yep.
Which load of bullshit on the internet's actually true?
Okay.
Because I don't think any of it is.
All right. Billy, over to you.
Why do you hire such crappy commentators like Mike Tenay and Taz?
Well,
Billy's actually said, Billy's actually agreed with me.
And the funny thing is, I'm going to say I actually like Taz's commentating, and I don't know why.
Let me clarify. Let me clarify what I was saying. Taz, when he was on SmackDown, commentary was good. Taz on ECW commentary was okay. Taz and TNA just flat out sucked.
Now, why is the difference? And how do you see the difference? I don't see the difference in the commentary.
Taz is not commentator. Simple as. Billy knows this. You can't learn to be a commentator. You're either a born commentator, like me. You're either a born talker or you're not. A quiet, shy person cannot become a you can't express yourself as well as somebody that's got the gift of the gab. I should know. I've got plenty of gift of the gab. So you can't. There's no way on God's earth you're gonna get. And I'll put the challenge out there to anybody. There is no way on God's earth you're going to get James do what I'm doing now. Because James is a shy, quiet type of guy, you can't train to be a commentator. You either are a commentator and you're not. And Taz is not a commentator.
And during his SmackDown run, to me, it felt like he had a passion for it. When he was doing commentary in the WWE, he felt like he had a passion for the business. He was compelled. He loved to talk about what he loved most, and that was wrestling. He got into TNA, and so far to me, it really does.
All he's after is a paycheck. That's all he's after. He's got no interest in the product at all.
Yeah, and when you don't have that interest in the product at all, it affects your commentary.
Well,
you have to be passionate about what you talk about in commentary. If you don't have that passion and you don't have that ability to put someone over on your commentary, then you have no business being in a commentator's position in the first place.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that, Billy, because you know what? Taz actually tried, believe it or not, there was like a little teaser that he was trying to get back with the WWE, but then he re-signed with TNA. There was a rumor that he actually did try to re-sign with the WWE.
Yeah, the rumor that he started, probably. The WWE wouldn't touch that bloke. If the WWE employ him, they'd employ me.
Yeah, they had no interest. According to the reports, the Wrestling Observer said they didn't want nothing to do with him. They were not interested.
So he approached them, but he makes out that they approached him. No,
yeah,
Taz will approach anybody that gives him a paycheck.
So
Taz is washed out. He shouldn't be on television.
I think he's okay. I think he's a lot better than Booker T. Booker T cannot commentate what
he looks like a 50-year-old teenager.
50-year-old
Well,
I think whenever they put him with aces and eights at first, I thought it was a big shocker, and possibly a good use.
But why use a commentator? It's like putting JR with the Shield. To me, putting a commentator in a fraction of wrestlers is a joke. Yeah, he's an ex-wrestler, but when did you last see him actually wrestle?
I think the idea was for him to be a heel commentator, and that was a concept, and it worked. For me, it worked. For other people, it might not have. I get why people say, "Oh, why do it?" He was being a heel commentator. But let's get on to the other guys and get their thoughts and get their questions. Will, what would be your question to ask Dixie? Uh-oh, here we go.
You really want me to answer this?
You know I do.
Why do you have Hulk Hogan in your company? You really thought Brother was going to make your company better? You thought Eric Kiss-Ass Bischoff was going to make things better? Fuck no, it wasn't. Why? Why?
Cousin.
Because Vince sent him there.
Yeah.
I still don't believe that.
I know Rick keeps laughing, but I swear to God, it's going to come out one day, even if it's in 20 years' time. That's exactly what Vince did with WCW, and he's done it with TNA. He sent all these staff over there to screw him over.
Yeah, I don't think he sent him over to WCW. But let's move on real quick. Lance, over to you.
Why won't you just sell the company back to Jeff Jarrett?
I don't think Jeff Jarrett ever really truly owned it. I think that was just kind of
it was founded by he and his father.
Well, I was gonna have another one, but Bay kind of took it.
Yeah. I really don't think he found. I think that was more of like a facial thing because it was founded by a wrestler. Wait, a real wrestler starting a wrestling company? Something tells me.
Yeah, it was the only thing I could think of off the top of my head. Cause Bay.
Hello.
We lost you.
Man.
Alrighty.
Lance had a froze.
Lance, yep.
I did?
Yeah, brain fart.
Lance had a brain fart.
It's all right. But well, we're gonna ask one more question while we're on the whole Dixie thing. If you were Dixie Carter, and if you were, if you had to hire, now we know that Bruce Pritchard's gone.
If you were Dixie Carter, what would you do? I'd feel myself.
I know you would. But if you were like a head of creative, would you either keep who would you like replace as creative? Would you either keep Eric Bischoff or would you find somebody else?
Get him the fuck out of there! Get him the fuck out of there!
Give Jim Cornette what he wants. Part of the company. Jobs are good.
So Jim Cornette, okay.
Get Jim Cornette, and as soon as ever Paul Heyman's finished his contract with the WWE, get him, and within 12 months you'll be kicking at Vince's door.
Wow.
But here's the problem with that. Paul Heyman's already stated that he wants nothing to do with TNA.
Yeah, he wants to go to MMA, but he's got more chance of platting Fog.
All right, Billy. Well, what are your thoughts then, Billy? Who would you?
I would keep Eric Bischoff because Eric Bischoff did a
I
lot of
agree.
good stuff in WCW. I mean, he founded the storyline of the NWO, despite what some conspirators and some people on the Skype call would have you believe. But it wasn't WWE that started the NWO storyline. No, the storyline came from that's the brainchild of Eric Bischoff. And that brainchild of Eric Bischoff nearly won WCW the Monday Night Wars, albeit there were some fuck-ups along the way that kind of screwed him over. But ultimately, he put out some really good stuff in WCW. And if you give Eric Bischoff the reins, he can do it again for TNA. But some people just don't have that faith in him, and I don't understand why.
Lance, what do you think? Who would you put in there?
Just because they try to keep one-upping each other. James E. Cornette and Vince Russo, they'd be trying to one-up each other every single week.
No. Just no. No. I'm sorry, Rick. I'm sorry.
Wow.
No to Bischoff, no to Russo. But yeah, I can see Cornette. I kind of have to agree on Andy on this one. See, Russo is a story killer. I'm sorry. For everybody, real wrestling fans that know what Russo was like, yeah. But I have to halfway agree with Billy and Andy on this one. I mean, I just don't see Bischoff lasting any further as he should. I would remove him.
Well,
No, that's not what I said.
Well, here's my thought. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is what I think. If TNA could really work, they need to get rid of Hogan. Absolutely
yes.
need to get rid of Hogan. No questions asked.
Yes.
Bischoff, I got to tell you, I've always had respect for Bischoff. Russo, if they put Russo in there and gave him some control, because Russo, you can't give Russo and give him free reins, because that's where he fucks up. You got to give Russo control, saying, okay, Russo, you can give creative control, but you gotta put a leash on him. That's where he's really, really good, and that's where he has talent. A lot of people don't see that.
Do you want me to tell you what the problem is?
Mm-hmm.
And the problem's exactly the same with the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't have television writers writing your product.
Exactly.
No.
You want people who've been in the business writing your product, people that know how wrestling works.
Eric Bischoff knows that.
Imagine you guys in America love your American football.
No.
Imagine if American football commentators didn't know nothing about American football. They were big, avid baseball players, and they're commentating on an American football match. Well, that number 9 there's got that funny-shaped ball under his arm. You'd switch off. And that's what's going on with WWE. They're either a wrestling company, whether it's sports entertainment or not. You're either a wrestling company or a soap opera. You can't be both.
Yeah.
I don't care whether Vince likes to call it sports entertainment or what. It's not even sports entertainment. It's soap opera, as we call it in the UK. It's a glorified Friends with fighting in between. That's all it is, and that isn't what fans are. Fans don't want to watch Friends with a bit of a fight in the middle, and then a bit of a talk, and then a bit of a fight. If I want to see Friends, I'll put Friends on the TV. There's more action in Cops than there is in wrestling these days.
Bad boys.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do, Vince?
They're coming for you.
What you gonna do when TNA not for you?
Yeah, no kidding.
As much as you're knocking TNA, I'm sorry, they've got the better of the two products at the moment.
Yeah.
Not
really
by
are.
much.
Not by much. Yeah. Even with their, I say that TNA does have the
Yeah,
thing.
Billy's just said though, not by much. You sit down after we've done the show, Billy, and you write down all the famous wrestlers that there are in TNA. Then you sit down and write all the wrestlers who are in the WWE, and you show me which has got the most, and I guarantee you it's TNA. There are more stars in TNA than there are in the WWE current roster.
Interesting.
I'm not disputing that either.
So that says it all to me. Why are all the stars jumping ship to TNA?
Even
Or
though
why did they jump
TNA
ship?
appears
Because
to
they
be
saw a
sinking.
better product.
If they
They
saw a
obviously
better
saw
product,
that.
why is the ship sinking?
I think the reason why they
Is the ship sinking? It's just internet bullshit. Is it sinking?
I think the reason why they jump because the fact is they have a lack of lack of chance when
How
the
many
WWE.
people? Yeah, I'll give you an example. How many people are we hearing about leaving TNA through cutting costs or whatever? Give me a rough ballpark figure.
15 maybe.
15. How many people get sacked normally after, is it SummerSlam with the WWE on an average basis?
WrestleMania, really. Yeah.
About the
Somewhere.
same?
Surprisingly, only this year they only released what about
Yeah.
10, 15 developmental.
And that's during
That's my case.
but that's
So
during
take numbers.
their spring cleaning.
WWE going down the toilet? No, but
No.
TNA are going down the toilet because they got rid of the same amount of staff.
Yeah,
But their roster's a lot smaller than WWE's is.
I agree with
I'm
you.
not disputing that, but what I'm saying is they both have to cut their losses somewhere. So they're doing nothing any different than the WWE are doing. Everyone's making a big deal because it's TNA. Because all wrestling fans have all got this thing, oh, I wonder how long these are going to last. Why should they have a defeatist attitude? I want TNA to continue.
Yeah.
So
I'm
do
not
I.
happy that if TNA are going down the toilet, I'm not happy at all. Because I don't want Vince to have all the eggs in his basket. Before TNA came along, wrestling was worse than it is now. Who the hell's going to take over from TNA? Because I'll be damn sure it won't be that ring of arseholes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think that TNA is going under. A lot of people think that they're getting ready to go under just because, they're getting ready to do some cuts. Do I think they're having some hard times? Yes, I do. Do I think they're going through some transitionals? Yes. It's not going to be an easy year for them. What's going on with them with other shit? Yeah. What's happening? I don't know. What's going on with management? Who the fuck knows? Is it going to get better? Probably not. But, until
we all said this from day one. As soon as ever Hulk Hogan went and Ric Flair went, it's oh my God. And yes, it's been an oh my God, and someone's got to get through to Dixie instead of bitching about it. Just get rid of him, Dixie, because he's going to murder your company.
Yeah. He sees you just as another Ted Turner.
Yeah,
That's
you're
all
just
he
a
sees her as.
money pit for him. And when she said on that interview program, oh, I'd do anything for Hulk Hogan. I'd have his children. He's my idol. He's taking your pants down, Dixie, and giving it you every night in front of your husband.
Yeah.
For TNA.
She's got to see the light, and at the moment she's still all goggle-eyed over Hulk Hogan. She needs to see the light. She needs to wake up and smell the roses, because he's just ruining your company.
Somebody needs to actually sit her down with a copy of the Rise and Fall of WCW and the Rise and Fall of ECW. When they get to the financial stuff, tell her, don't do that.
Yeah. She's having far too many has-beens in her company, and she's got no new talent coming in, just like the TNA. Just like WWE, sorry.
Yeah. And but I think the problem is that, like you said, she's just too starstruck. I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but
I know this sounds horrible, but I just wish Hulk Hogan would have a stroke or an heart attack and do us all a favour. Because it's the only way he's going to get out of that company.
Yeah, but a lot of the...
I think wrestling fans ought to pay. If wrestling fans want Dixie Carter to get rid of Hulk Hogan, and we know she loves him too much, it's not going to happen. Please, if there's a hitman out there, HWR will pay for you. Kill the cunt.
Keep in mind that HWR has nothing to do with that comment.
That's all the opinion of Andy, not us.
I'll pay you. Andy2E1SOB at AOL.com. Send me the bill.
Oh, wonderful. Moving on.
Do us a favour. Do wrestling a favour, please.
Wonderful. Next thing we know that Hulk Hogan gets wound up shot. I had nothing to do with it.
I didn't either.
I mean, it's
At
all
least
him.
I called it first.
It was the
It's all
son
the
of a bitch
SOB
Andy.
right there. So-
Yeah. Lance, yeah, I believe you have a question for the group.
In wrestling or sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it, what makes a wrestler or entertainer great?
What makes somebody great?
His ability to connect with your audience. If you're in the ring and you have no ability to be over on the audience, whether they cheer you, boo you, or whatever, if you don't have that ability to connect with the people who come out and pay their money to see you do what you do best, and you fail at it, then guess what? You have no business being in the wrestling industry.
Absolutely.
You have to have that ability to connect with fans, whether it be on a positive level or a negative level. If you have that ability to be over on the crowd, then that's what makes you a good superstar. If you don't have that ability to connect with the fans, then you have no business being there.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of wrestlers, some might not even have that mic skill. Some of them just have that persona. I hate to say it, but let's look at the Ultimate Warrior for a minute. I mean, he can come to the ring, run into the ring, shake those ropes, just, like an idiot, and, beat somebody in like 45 seconds or even a couple of minutes, and bang, the fans are going ballistic. Did he have a lot of great wrestling skill? Not really. Did he have a lot of great mic skills? Not really. But when he came to the ring and that music hit, fans would go berserk.
Because he had that magic word, which everyone says if they could bottle it, they would. It.
Exactly.
And if people knew what it was, they'd be a millionaire selling it.
Exactly. So.
No one can say what makes a wrestling star a star. So. You either are a star or you aren't. Even someone like John Cena doesn't know what it is. Otherwise, he could hand it down to another wrestler. Like Billy says, you've got to do something that the fans appreciate and like and can feel like you're one of them. You are me in that wrestling ring. If they can make you believe that they are you in that wrestling ring, they've done their job.
Absolutely.
When you feel his pain, when he gets hurt, when you feel his anger, when he gets angry, when you feel that elation when he wins that championship, that's what you need. If you can't do them three things, you shouldn't even be trying. And a lot of the people on the independent industry, as most wrestlers say, if you ain't got psychology, I don't give a shit if you're Hulk Hogan. You're not going to make it in the business. Wow. Psychology is the be-all and end-all of wrestling. That's brain. That's mind. It's got nothing to do with how strong you are, how good you are in the ring. Psychology makes a good wrestler. If you can't work a crowd, you've got nothing.
Yep.
Absolutely.
100%.
And that all comes down to psychology. And you speak or listen to any of the guys who are the big number one stars in wrestling, and I'll pick a name out random. Jake the Snake Roberts. He preaches, if you ain't got psychology and you don't even know what psychology is, that you have to go and look it up on Wikipedia, you're in the wrong business. Psychology is a way of making people feel your pain. If you can't portray that, get out of the business. You're wasting your time and you're wasting my time by sticking your face on TV.
Well, Lance does have another quick question for us.
Okay. I know only one of us in this group smokes weed, but anyway. That being rude. Anyway, but who would you rather smoke weed with? Okay. Rob Van Dam or Jack Swagger?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. You know what? I'll smoke weed with both of them. They can just sit. We'll all sit in a circle. We'll just pass the bone around. How's that sound?
I would only smoke weed with Rob Van Dam because the man's got a personality. I would have to have weed, cocaine, heroin, whatever I could get hold of to even be in the company of Jack Swagger.
I'd go Van Dam.
That man's got the personality of a laxative.
Yeah, I'll smoke weed with RVD, but yeah, Jack Swagger would probably be boring as hell. But yeah, I'd smoke with RVD any night of the week. Jack Swagger.
If I was unconscious and Jack Swagger stuck a spliff in my mouth, I would spit it out. I wouldn't want to share it with him. That man's got TIT, not IT.
Well, Andy, you know what? I believe you actually have a story about Scott Hall.
Yeah, NWO founding member Scott Hall noted on Twitter that he has officially moved out of Diamond Dallas's accountability
DDP.
crib. Scott Hall and his son Cody have moved into an apartment together in Atlanta, Georgia. As of this writing, Scott is 100% sober and feels he can stay that way by living with his son. From what I can gather, his son is an easy target, so his son is going to end up the same as Scott Hall. Scott Hall's going to go back on the drugs and the drink, and we're going to have the same scenario again. Scott, if you're listening, the reason why you go into the accountability crib, which is a posh word for DDP's rehab, is so you can't get your hands on liquor and drugs. You're there for a reason. It's like a prison sentence. Follow your prison sentence through. Get clean like Jake the Snake Roberts is doing. If not, see you in heaven, pal.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. He's making a big mistake. Guys, what do you think?
Oh, I gotta agree. I mean, what else can we say that Andy hasn't said already?
There's only one way of him to stay clean, and that is if the only reason that he should have left is, like, granted he's still in Atlanta, Georgia, which is where the accountability crib is located. The only way that will work is if DDP's like over there like every freaking day, making sure he stays on his game. Only way. Otherwise, within a year, we're going to see across the news at bottom of CNN, former wrestler Scott Hall dies of overdose.
Yeah, I'll give him 12. If he doesn't follow the program through, I'll give him 12 months. I know he's been living close to the edge before, but unfortunately, this is his last chance. And his son is going to go the same way. Check it out on the internet. His son's a brick short of a load. Nice guy, good wrestler, but his son's a brick short of a load. And if his dad starts saying like, "Oh, I've got cannabis in there and I've got some smack in here, and I try some, son," I guarantee he's young and naive. That smells nice. I like the taste of that, Dad. Yeah, I like a bit of liquor as well. You watch. His son will go down the same road his dad went.
Oh, my God.
You heard it here first on HWR.
Unbelievable. Well, let's move on to some more lighter news, unfortunately. Stacy Keibler, former diva who's split up with, I believe she's split up with
George Clooney.
George Clooney, thank you. Well, she's now in negotiations with the WWE.
That's a lie, because she phoned me up last night.
Did she? What did she say?
She asked me if I was available again.
Oh, really? Oh, well.
I said, as long as she doesn't mind a threesome, yeah, I'm fine.
Well, yeah, from what I reported, yeah, it said the report sounds to be like pure bullshit. So, that's just a rumor. So you guys can believe it's bullshit. I'm not sure, guys. You guys can take it for what it's worth.
She just signed a TV deal.
I think she'll go back. I don't know what she'll do, but I think she'll go back.
I don't see Stacy Keibler coming back to WWE. I don't see what WWE can do with her. Like,
well, how they can sack Fandango's dancer and have her doing it.
Yeah, she was on the Dance with the Stars. So yeah.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Well, right now it's rumored that she'll be paired with Daniel Bryan, but again, the report says the report itself says to be bullshit.
Vince, listen, Fandango, dancer, Stacy Keibler, Dancing with Stars, dancer.
She just had a show debut on TV.
Plus, you can use her for other things. Vince, think about it.
Wow.
What's up with the guy? He's got someone there that can dance. She can be his Fandango's tart, for the want of a better term, and she can do other things in the wrestling industry because she's been there before. The tart that Fandango is with gets a paycheck every week for shaking a touche and going home. Why not get your money's worth, Vince? If she can do 3 jobs, make her do 3 jobs for one person's pay. Because Stacy Keibler will do it. I mean, she sucked your dick last time.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
Billy, let me ask you. Would you like to see Stacy Keibler come back? And if she did come back, do you think she would be, a legitimate diva, or do you think she would just, not be of any value?
Legitimate MILF.
Oh God! Does she have kids?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that one.
I don't. Probably not.
I'll tell you what. It would be a big step up from what the current crop of divas they have, or I should say, crap, like JoJo and Eva Maria. For fuck's sake, Eva Maria. If you're on the flagship show of Monday Night Raw, you're in the limelight. You're in the middle of the ring. You're about to cut a promo with Jerry the King Lawler. First off, learn how to fucking cut a promo, then learn how to fucking slap someone in the face, for fuck's sakes. God damn, that was terrible.
I'm rubbing off on Billy.
Why do I feel sticky now?
Whoa.
You know why Stacey Keibler's not got pregnant by George Clooney?
Why
She's about 6'3". He's 5'5". If he stood on the chair, he couldn't get his cock in.
Oh, God.
The only time they're the same height is when they lie down.
Oh shit.
Stacey does not have any kids.
Yeah, I didn't think she did. I wasn't sure.
I wonder if she uses a small guy like blokes who have small girlfriends. It's always somewhere when you're standing at the bar, place your pint when it's on top of the head.
What?
What? Oh wow.
Think about it. If he's small and she's having a beer at the bar and she can't find a table, she can always put on George Clooney's head because he's about table height.
Oh God.
It's like the great Carly going out with Hornswoggle. Have you seen the height difference between George Clooney and her?
Footstool.
I mean, she could have picked somebody that she looked up to, for God's sake.
How? She is a fairly tall woman.
Yeah, she's like what? She's like almost 6 foot, isn't she?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's tall for a woman.
Yeah.
That's tall for pretty much anybody.
So I think with that, we're going to wrap up this show, and we'd like to thank everybody for listening to HWR. Andy, where can we find you at?
www.stokehaunted.com/hitman required.
All right, Billy. Thank you for coming over. Where can we find you at?
Find me on youtube.com/ShutSkeemer. Also, don't forget to like the Facebook page of WGSTV. That's facebook.com/WGSTV. Come on, guys. Let's get bigger than Hardcore Wrestling Radio.
All right. And Lance, where can we find you at?
YouTube.com/Lance Moss TV.
And we also have the two Instagib gurus in the house. We have James and Will in the house. Guys, where can we find you at? James?
On a bus with a homeless person.
Billy, I got a question to ask you before I say anything.
Yes, sir?
Would you rather be attacked by 50 duck-sized horses or be attacked by one horse-sized duck?
So where can we find you, James?
Instagib.tv/FatForce504. MVP.
Hey.
Oh, wait. Is the Duck Army left already?
Yeah.
Brigade. Well, Rick was on my show earlier today, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, at instagive.tv/MVP. And Rick and Billy, nice try on Tower Cash. Maybe next time, fellas. Maybe next.
You get them next time, little
Yeah.
chap.
Yeah, wait till you get on Candy Crush. I'll whip your ass.
So for everybody here at Hardcore Wrestling Radio, I'm the Shining Star Rick Starr saying, see you when we see you.
Don't forget, listeners, before you go, we'll be here next week. We're not sure Scott Hall will be.
Thank you for listening to this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Radio. Be sure to follow us on our pages, facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio and Spreaker.com/HWR Media, and also on youtube.com/HWR Show. Until the next time, this is Rick Starr saying, see you when we see you.